Warning: this podcast may contain spoilers as well as coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh yeah, toot-a-roo, motherfuckers. Welcome back to Violet Everweekly, and if you're new, welcome to Violet Everweekly, the series on the Our Anime podcast where we discuss Violet Evergarden week by week. And we're finally here, week 13, discussing episode 13 out of 13, the season finale. It's been a long time coming, but we did it. We're here. And for this week, Shaw is back.
What's up, guys? You might have thought that Major Gilbert would be coming back, but he didn't. It's just me.
It's just, it was I, Shaw.
Kano Shada. That doesn't have a good ring to it.
Not at all.
That sounds awful.
I'm sorry. And our two guests for this week, we actually have two new guests, as was originally supposed to be the case for every week. But yeah, one of them is Thy Metal Man.
Hey.
I'll probably just call him Thy. Yeah, hey.
Thy.
Sorry, I kind of cut your words there. And second, someone who's been quite supportive of us, often leaving pretty nice comments on our past episodes. Great to have him on. It's Mr. Cool, or as we'll probably call him, Vancer.
Yeah, hello. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, nice. And
Same here,
Thanks for joining us. Yay.
And I'm Mozilla Fennekin, and like the responsible host that I am, I would like to proudly announce to you all that I finally finished watching episode 10 today. I finally did. I watched episode 10 of the anime, and I gotta say, it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. It was a good episode.
So not your favorite, though?
It was not my favorite.
All right.
Although, I will say, the end of the episode was like a huge, like, oh my god moment. That was really good.
I also watched episode 10 today, so we're like the worst hosts, where we just watch episode 10's 4 weeks after it airs.
Shaw had to watch like the last 5 episodes to be on this episode, so everyone appreciate what she's done.
Kudos to her.
It was not hard, thank you.
Good job.
I was like I had to get a physical today, and my doctor takes forever, so I'm just sitting in like the waiting room watching this because it's on Netflix now. So I can pull up Netflix on my phone. This is so helpful. And then I'm like
Netflix.
watching it, and I actually watched I watched some of these episodes like I think I watched episodes like 6 through 9 on an airplane and started crying on an airplane when I got to like the sad one. So I'm like, I can't cry in public watching Violet Evergarden again. And then I get to episode 10 today, and I like almost started crying when I'm like, shit, it's the girl, and like her mom is dying, obviously, and she wants the letters written to her daughter so she can send it to her after she's dead. And, like, I knew, but it was still really sad. So I almost cried in public, but not today. I beat you today, Violet Evergarden.
That's the exact reason why I've stopped watching it between classes at school. I can't have that happen again.
You never know. You never know when I'll just hit you.
Yeah, when I used to watch Violet Evergarden, I always watched it on home. And public or private, I never cried on a single episode of Violet Evergarden because I'm a heartless bastard. Or
Same
I'm just
here.
not.
That's a good
But
thing.
but I can cry in most anime, but not all. It's gotta hit really close to home. So when that episode aired about the mother and the daughter, I didn't cry, but I had to, like, after the episode, I just had to get up, get out of my room, go visit my mom's house and say, "Hey, Mom," and talk to her for a bit and like how she's doing and whatever.
Oh
And,
wait, that's so much sweeter. That's so much better than anything I did. I just almost cried in a doctor's office. You actually made that productive and talked to your mom. That's so awesome.
Yeah, and it's not a big deal or anything, but it's. I mean, in my culture and in my country, it's usually like you gotta respect your parents and such, and they're really good parents. My parents are really good parents. And I really like that.
Vi, since you're also a heartless bastard like me, what did you think of the finale, episode 13?
All right. So I'll take this with two sides on the same coin. And that coin is on a psychological basis of the entire episode. One, taking the side of the tool, and the other taking the side of the human, thus producing Violet Evergarden. She's literally the epitome of what creates a tool and what creates a human. And even though I studied psychology for 2 years and I failed it, but whatever. What I did analyze from Violet Evergarden throughout the entire series, and especially on the finale, I found out that Violet is a bit sociopath, not really sociopathic, but really like she started out as something that just is monotonous, and she's basically okay, I'm not gonna say a bad word, but after analyzing it, she seemed a bit autistic to me, and I did a bit of
only she is pretty much.
Yeah, and I had to go on online and just had to back up my points, and in the end, I literally got nothing. But all research ends well somehow or ends bad. But in the end, I learned what a Violet Evergarden was as a tool. So we know Violet Evergarden is a weapon used for battle. And back in the Eastern European influenced continent of World War One, and taking place in something that is a bit Germany, a bit Mediterranean, a bit of a mix. And what she is basically is literally a machine, a doll, literally a doll for battle. But once she takes up the job after the war of becoming an auto-memoir doll, it further emphasizes it, even amplifies the fact that she truly isn't human, but a little machine that writes letters, and at the same time using those same mechanical hands to kill a man. And that, for me, is something that it just breaks all humanity from Violet's perspective, and I found that out literally in the first 3 episodes, and further on in the story.
I think a lot of that is
however,
yeah. Sorry, continue.
However, in the finale, and I'll conclude this, she starts playing the humanity part of the coin, the emotional part of it, stating that she's kind of she's getting these emotions that she doesn't understand, but it's literally in her nature to feel them. She's, no matter how you think of it, no matter how you see it is, even though she's a killing machine, she's a doll, whatever, she writes letters, she's still human. Like all of us, she's still a human being with emotions. She can feel sympathy, she can feel empathy, she can feel rage, she can feel sadness. This all becomes amplified during Gilbert's death and the realization that he actually died. When she saw him in his grave, I mean, and she's starting to forgot that red haired dude. Oh fuck! Can you guys remind me? The red hair.
Claudia.
Claudio said to her that she's Claudkins. Yeah, Claudio said to her that she's literally burning up and she doesn't even know it. And when those emotions burst out of her, we can see her literally she goes off running, finding Gilbert's place of death, not understanding what she is, even going as far as to try to kill herself in that one scene. And that literally just, it hit me holy shit. Now she's starting to become more and more human. But however, in the finale, when I found out, she basically completely destroys that whole battle doll, the whole machine thing, even though the mechanical arms emphasize that, her tone of voice, her behavior, how she salutes, but now she doesn't salute, she bows now. And we see in the ending she starts smiling a lot. She starts to act more human. And the transition in which she she turns from a mechanical doll to a human. We see that when she encounters the older brother of Gilbert, when she says she doesn't take any more orders anymore. We even see that when Gilbert starts to scream at her in that tent when he says that she doesn't have to take any more orders from him. We see that she is crying and she doesn't understand. She shouldn't understand, because that's basically like a human thing to not understand. It's fine that you don't understand, because these are emotions that you've never encountered. It doesn't mean that you're a machine that doesn't computate emotions. That means you're human. That's a normal thing, and that's what I think is the transition between becoming a mechanical like effigy to becoming something more human. And we see that very a lot in the ending, where she writes her own letter to Gilbert, writing those whatever it is, the fair for the planes and whatever.
Yeah, it was like some air celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the very end, we see her knocking on a door and introducing herself, and and it's in a different way. I've noticed it in a different way. She starts actually acting like the best girl, basically, and I really like that, because in every single time she introduces herself, I can't help but thinking, "Oh my God, you sound like my old professor back in college. Please stop." And and basically, it's and when I saw her at the finale, like introducing herself in a more, how can I say, girl like a girl like fashion,
Genuine?
or something, genuine, something like she genuinely introduces herself with like actual emotion. And this is what I love about the most from the author for Violet Evergarden. To someone who literally grew up living as a weapon, as a tool for killing, not knowing how to feel, to someone that helps people through letters. Like, they're just letters, but they can still deliver that impact. And we've seen that countless of times. And that's what I really love about Violet Evergarden. If I must say, in conclusion, Violet Evergarden is not more of a coming of age story, but a transformation from one's like mindset to becoming, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta take, or like a normal human lifestyle that we see as normal, but it's almost mechanical in some way. Like how she has to take orders from Gilbert to feel human. That's kind of paradoxical, don't you think? Like, you're doing something that is mechanical to make yourself feel human. That's that kind of reminds me of Clockwork Orange. You're taking something mechanical and try to make it organic. That does not work.
Yeah.
And seeing her breaking her shell of this metal like box and becoming like this beautiful flower. Get it? Violet. Yeah. See what I did there? It's literally in her name. She's Violet Evergarden. She's literally from becoming a this metal thing to this object to becoming something natural. That's how, when we see Gilbert seeing that, choosing a name for her, to becoming something natural and not something that should take orders like a machine. So that's what I really love about it. If I can say, Violet Evergarden, not the show, but the girl, probably is my best girl of 2018. Fight me.
Ooh, bold statement early on.
I don't fight you because it's April. So that sounds like your lie in April, because you don't know who else is coming out.
I mean, my best girl of all time is Hollow the Wise Wolf from Slice and Wolf. Nothing can top her. Okay, but Violet Evergarden for this season, I can not the entire, but for this season, I think she is basically best girl, because she actually has personality, and the show covers her entire story of breaking out of her shell, and I really love about that. it took me a long time to analyze it, and I could say for one thing, it has been an amazing journey, ups and downs, a lot of crying, I know, but I still felt it. I didn't cry, but I still felt it right here in my heart. And
Well,
I
that's
really
the
like
whole show
it.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Vanzer, what did you think of the episode?
I mean, I didn't have that much thought out, as much as he did, so, I don't know. I mean,
that's an entire episode right there.
Yeah, exactly. Shut it down. We're good. We're done for the day.
Yeah, we're done for the day.
Thanks for listening to Violet Everweekly, everybody.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. It's, we're going back to what you were saying when I tried to cut in the middle there, when you were saying, at the beginning she felt very much like a tool. That was a lot of the, she was lacking the sympathy and the empathy, and that's what definitely, like, kind of showed her as the tool that she was, because she lacked those very natural human emotions, and I think that's what definitely set her apart at the beginning versus even just like a couple episodes later. You could tell that there was a little bit more to her. But as my like overall for the episode, I thought it was okay. I mean, it definitely wasn't the best. We've seen some better episodes, and I enjoyed it and thought it was an entertaining end. Yeah, that was a
better endings.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I thought, as we've said many times on the show, the one episode, whatever it was, like episode 6 or no, whatever episode had the like montage of all the different people she affected. Which episode was it?
Is that 9?
9? Okay, yeah, that one I felt like it connected a little bit more on like an emotional level, and I feel like that's something that the show needed to capitalize more on in a final episode, because the show is built so much around emotion. And, like, the first quarter of that episode was all just, like, action. And I felt like they could have packed a lot of that into the end of the most previous episode. But then they couldn't have had the cliffhanger, I guess, so they did the last one. But, yeah, I enjoyed it. There were... I have a couple random notes, but a lot of them, are more just things that I found to be kind of funny about the episode, or just random things. Not a whole lot of, like, deep diving into a lot of the, themes or anything in it. It's just more so my general thoughts as I watched it. But overall, it was a fine episode.
I think, well, Shaw, you should go first, actually.
Oh, I don't have too much to add, unsurprisingly.
Too.
But I just have,
God damn it.
I liked a few things. I liked how Violet was like, I like how ever since she realized that, like, she's writing all these letters for people who have lost someone in the war, and then she lost Major Gilbert, and she realizes that she's, like, kind of responsible for other people losing people. Like, she's really maintained that whole, like, I'm not gonna add to people's suffering, I just want to try and help them communicate to others kind of thing. Like, she wants to help other people connect with her letter writing. So, like, in this episode, when she, like, stayed fast to her idea of, like, not wanting to kill people, I appreciated that. Not because, like, it's a new, like, concept that we haven't seen before, but because they really did do a good job of, like, hammering home why she doesn't want to kill people. Like,
yeah, like, it felt very real to her character.
Yeah, it felt very important to her character. And then, but then there's, on the other hand, like, speaking of, like, past episodes, I don't know, like, you guys saw, I think the, like, most insane shit I've seen in this series was when Violet, like, parachuted out of an airplane and just started kicking ass in a battlefield. Like, I saw that.
In high heels, no doubt.
In high heels. Like, you cannot move in those. And it's like, she hasn't been in combat for, like, how long? She's just been going around the country. Like, she's out of, she has not trained. Like, she's just parachuting and kicking ass. Which, from a fan service point of view, is really fun, because we like to see people kick ass. But from a, like, more grounded standpoint, you're just like, what the fuck? So then we got a taste of that today, when they're trying to stop the bombs on the bridge, and not even Violet. I mean, she did some cool stuff, but, like, what's with the dude, like, the dude with the heels?
Blonde guy.
Boots boy, yeah.
He's, like, just, like, she's like, yo, stop the bomb, and he's like, oh, okay, as if he's trained to just jump off a train, like, out of the train, and stop the bombs with his heels, which I appreciate the detail to his ridiculous heels. But, like, what the fuck was that? That was just, I was like, how is this, like, what are you guys doing? He's not even, like, a soldier. What is this shit?
Yeah, also, like...
there's a reason why. in the light. I think it was in the light novels. I'm not too sure. I haven't read them. But this guy is basically like he runs around town delivering letters, and he has to get it on time. So he runs a lot, and there's a reason why they introduced him in high boots, not like in high heels. It's not for the fan service per se, but it's actually like historically accurate to say that even men used to wear high heels as in fashion. That's true. Look it up.
Okay.
Even Winston Churchill used to wear heels.
It's a sad
Not
life
even
if
joking.
even guys have to wear heels. But
Yeah.
yeah, like it's not even the heels. Like, you know, you guys know what I mean. But it was like I was just like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, come on, you guys can't take the bombs out from the bridge. Like, okay.
I was like, they just yelled, "Take out the bombs." He immediately knows exactly where they are and charges for him.
He's hanging onto the bridge, like, and he like saves Violet while she's like, what? That was some like crazy shit. That was some Lupin shit. But I was like, but I mean, besides the like insanity that was that, I appreciated where this episode ended up. It was kind of a nice ending. But I think, like you said, Venser, I think I like the ending to episode 9 a bit more. It felt like a lot more fitting. So I kind of wish they like moved it around and had like episode 9 be the end, even though they can't, because, you know, like this is like post-development Violet.
Yeah,
they can't really do that, but I found that to be a bit more powerful. But overall, it was
episode
like,
9.
Yeah, I think episode 9 was like the real like climax of the series. That was when
the climax of the Violet Evergarden arc to becoming Violet Evergarden. That's episode 9's ending. Because the name is the ending show that the episode's name is Violet Evergarden, which basically portrays the ending arc of her character. Now we're just continuing on to the story arc of her, like in the light novel story. I mean, the daughter and the mother, the soldier to his family, and in the end the resisting force to cancel the signing of the peace treaty. Those are just the story arc, not the character arc. Mind that. So yeah.
I also, especially for a show that started out so episodic, I feel like that was another reason why that felt like more of a finale, because it showed how she affected everyone in each scenario that she was in, whereas this one, she affects so many people, and yet the finale focused only on her, when in reality I feel like it would have done better if it showed how many people she helped rather than like kind of her own story, especially since a lot of this story is told through the eyes of the people that come and visit Violet. At least that's what I've heard from like the source, is it's shown through the eyes of the people she visits. So I feel like, you know, in theme with that, it would make sense to have the finale be how she's affected everyone else rather than everyone else affecting her. But again, you know, that helps to show her, like you said, it's like, you know, the show is about Violet Evergarden, so it would make sense to end her story and then, or end everyone else's stories, complete her character, and then end her story, at least for now.
Yeah, because think about it. In the end, she's still Auto Memories doll. She's still that.
Yeah.
And she's still doing her job, but even better. That's what I'm just saying. She delivers powerful emotion better than any doll. We can see that when she's writing a letter for this random dude, and when she, at the very end of it, when she visits the house, the end is literally happily ever after. Now she's continuing on her job until she dies. That's what the older brother said. Go live, and then die.
I like how he came around.
That's the ending. Honestly, I think he was a dick.
Oh, I thought.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
he was a dick, but I'm glad he like came around in a sense. Like
when she visits, when she visits his mother, that's when I felt okay. Now I almost cried. I almost cried because she was crying.
Yeah,
and
her crying actually was sad.
Yeah, and the worst feeling is not a son losing his mother, but a mother losing her son. That's what I hate the most. But yeah,
I'm having a really hard time getting this pop filter to stay up because I'm experimenting with using a pop filter. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. Considering how much of a pain in the ass this is, I'm going to say it's not.
I mean, once it's up, I'm sure it'll be worth it. But I'd say probably just don't worry about it for the rest of this one. You can get it up for the next one. So, Lux, what are your comments on the final episode then?
I don't really have much to say because I thought this episode, very much like the rest of the series, was decent, competent. It had some good moments, and it otherwise kind of failed to live up to its potential, I would say. Kind of failed to live up to expectations. I still think that the series peaked with episode 9, I believe it was, the episode with the lake.
Oh, is that 7?
That's 7. Yeah, I think that was 7.
No,
yeah.
7. That's 7.
Oh, yeah, that was 7. I apologize. Yeah, that was still my favorite. Episode 10 also had like a super strong ending. That said, I still kind of come away from this episode maybe pleasantly surprised because on the podcast we were kind of down on this a little bit because
a little bit.
We thought this conflict felt I don't know if forced is the right word to say, but we were wondering what exactly was going to happen, how. Like, we thought this would be, like, a super rushed ending that wouldn't actually, do a whole lot. But I actually thought this was, a decent ending for the show. Especially because, again, like, episode 7 felt like the true end of the show. Whereas I'm wondering, how are they going to wrap this up in a meaningful way? But, yeah, I still think they did a pretty decent job ending this.
They finished it.
Yeah, Violet's finally over the Major's death. She says she doesn't need orders anymore. I thought that was, and they played the I forgot the name of the song, but it's from the trailers. That that was really cool to hear.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I feel so sorrow. I actually like that song. I like it better than the opening. But the ending, in my opinion, is my favorite. Like the piano and the singing and the walking, the animation. The Kyoto animation flex, though, dude. The entire episode is just aesthetic. I love Kyoto animation no matter what. Kyoto animation. They adapt pretty well, except for K-On, in my opinion.
But K-On's good.
But K-On's good, but they could have done it better. Alright, okay, moving on. Violet Evergarden. I have not read the light novel. I would love to read the light novel, see if there's a better ending to it. Or just the same ending but better portrayed. I don't know. I would love to see the feelings in each of the characters. That's what I think would happen. A more like a deeper backstory. A more because Kyoto Animation still has a good job of portraying that and animating it at the same time. If you see the video of Glass Reflection on Mother's Basement, I don't know either one, but he did the video about the ugly face crying and how Kyoto Animation perfected it to show the whimpering, the sobbing, they I think they had to go through a lot of takes, a lot of frames to just for a person crying, and I think that's crazy.
And that was very apparent in this last episode for sure. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, I hate it when best girls cry. All right, that's my opinion, but they still show the heart wrenching of it, the feels. Cry a lot, feel a garden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't like when I see like a good animation of a person crying because it looks good, but it feels bad, and basically, I just don't like it. I like it, but I'm conflicted.
Well, speaking
Overall,
of animation,
the series, animation 10 out of 10.
Speaking of animation in this episode in particular, one thing this is pretty much the only major thing I wanted to point out, but when Violet was dismantling the bomb, I guess when her arms were ripping off, something about it, the way they were ripping apart, it just felt like really gruesome and brutal.
It actually is.
Even though they're made of metal, I'm not even sure if she's actually feeling physical pain from this, but still, it's just the way it looked was just like, oh god, I was cringing at it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt worse than when she lost her actual arms. Like, it felt like it was a bigger deal to her.
Yeah, because it was, like, so detailed. It was, like mechanical gore.
Yeah, like, you could see each, like, it reminded me of Ghost in the Shell. It reminded me of Ghost in the Shell for some reason. Because how I looked at it on a scientific kind of thing, how she moves her hands, and I don't know what the fucking magic behind it, but the strings that you see, like the smallest little strings that you see from the end of her arm, is like, I feel like those are actual nerves, like nerves, like literally ripping off her apart. Because how can she, send these messages to her brain, to her mechanical arms to type?
To her automail.
There has to be like these nerves connecting, and every single nerve is literally ripping it. So it actually feels like your arm is ripping off. And that's what I felt like. Yeah.
And that would make sense why she could...
Painful.
I'm sorry. And that would make sense why she could also do, like, when she said she was, like, just kind of typing in the air saying she'd memorize it. That kind of would make sense for that argument as well. Because I feel like, you know, if you couldn't feel your fingers, you wouldn't remember how you moved them around. And also, I got a little complaint about those hands.
Ooh.
Anytime anyone saw them, they were shocked by them. And yet, like, right away, right after they got torn off, as soon as they got torn off, like, next scene, she's got them back, like, in perfect working condition. Even nicer than they were when they got torn off.
Yeah,
I'm like,
who is
this? Yeah, who's this guy? Yeah, exactly.
Winry?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
That's a good point. But I don't know. I guess
maybe they explain it in the light novel. Who knows?
Who is taking care of this automail?
Yeah.
Where are they?
I think it's the creator of the Auto Memories doll, but I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. Maybe they explain it. Yeah, maybe they explain it in the light novel.
They don't need
to. They don't need
to.
But for context, context values, they have to. The light novel is literally just 2 volumes, and they have to explain a lot. I mean, come on, it just had to.
It's also hard to, with how, like, expensive this, like, they're trying to make this world, and how little we don't know a whole lot about it. So it's kind of hard to naturally build in that kind of world building. And it's like, little details like that, I feel like, are something that can easily just kind of go by the wayside, and you don't have to worry about. Like, I didn't even think about that comment until my second watch through of the episode.
I feel like it's one of those anime where you gotta read the light novel to understand it better, and I hate that. I kind of hate that. But at the same time, like when I was reading back then, Spice and Wolf, the first few volumes, then like I took a break for a second and watched the first few episodes from 2008 anime, and I could say I was impressed, and I did like reading the light novel first and then watching the anime. I thought that made total sense. But in this case, when you're not reading the light novels and you're watching the anime, it's totally different. You don't know what the hell is going on. Like, where's the context, where's the backstory? And they do provide backstory, but not a lot to where the viewer or reader understands. And I feel like that's a big flaw in some studios, in a lot of studios when they're adapting light novels. Light novels can be seriously, like, expansive and, like, verbose and, like, really explains a lot of the story. And studios hate that sometimes, and they have to adapt the important parts and leaving out the good parts. For example, Monogatari series, we see that a lot. Snafu, ReZero, Steins Gate, like we see that so many times that it's unbelievable. But I mean, that's a natural way. Am I right? That's pretty natural, in my opinion. That's how it is. Yeah, I don't argue about it too much, but I feel like they could adapt it way better. But if I could give my overall conclusion, like I'm shutting up for good about Violet Evergarden, where people are coming for the ending. How I score this anime, in my honest opinion, I give it 8.1 out of 10.
Ooh.
In my honest opinion,
so close to just being an 8, but you added the 0.1.
That's huge.
0.1 because of Best Girl.
Huge.
That's it.
Huge. That's the yeah, that's the perfect one.
Yeah.
The huge one. But
huge.
Yeah, I think this series is so tough. So I also did this is like might be worth sharing but might not, but it's happening anyway. So I wanted to see, like, I think part of my like frustration with this series happened outside of this actual series, and it happened with both the like drama over when or where it's gonna show up legally on like Netflix, and then also just kind of like the surrounding drama over, you know, the first episode being like is it too hyped up, is it like good, you know, like there's just been so much talk about a lot of nothing without actually talking about the show. So I did an experiment, and I showed my boyfriend, who knows none of this, like he hasn't watched much anime. I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you the first episode, tell me what you think. And he watched it, and he wasn't a big fan. He's pretty normie, so he's like who I imagine is like the normie audience that I think Netflix is trying to reach. And he was like not impressed with it and just not really that interested. So I can tell that like I think some of the distaste for it is like actually relevant outside of all the like discussion of that goes on. But for my like, so I thought that was interesting to see that like it's not like a good start to the series, but I do think he would probably like it more if he watched more of it, but I don't think he'd want to really watch more of it. But
I think that's also
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think that's kind of why it was on Netflix too, though, was because Netflix is so. What's up?
I'm sorry. I'm like watching this baseball game where the most insane shit ever is happening. And I'm like losing my shit, so I'm just gonna mute my mic for a while. Bye.
You're kicked off.
All right.
You're Violet over.
Good one. All
that
right.
was really bad. Thank you. What were you gonna say?
I don't know. I've completely. I think that's probably a big reason why it's like that is because it's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they want it to be kind of a binge watch show, so there's a reason why. Especially myself, I was like, through the first couple episodes, I wasn't big on it either.
Yeah.
And since I live in the U.S., I had to try and get it illegally, which I hate doing anyways.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for like this podcast and like it being really hyped, I probably would have dropped off after 4 or 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. But then it gradually picked up, and I think it was definitely worth watching and one of the better shows of the season for sure.
Yeah,
and I probably gave it.
It's one of those keep watching. Yeah, it's one of those shows that keep watching and it gets interesting. Trust me.
And I think like even like Violet Evergarden at its worst was never unwatchable. Because there's some.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
And I always try and like think of it as like I think this is a bad habit of mine, but I think I compartmentalize airing shows and non-airings, and I think like in the sphere of airing shows, it's a pretty good watch and it's fun to watch week to week. You know what you're gonna get, like hit or miss, like around that area, like you'll probably have at least a decent time watching it. But I think if I had to binge watch this like outside of airings kind of on my own, I'd probably enjoy it slightly less. But then again, I did have to do that today, and I still had fun with it. So I think it's kind of one of those shows that's like, I think it could have been better, but for what it was still a pretty good show. I still had fun with it, and like I said, I was crying on an airplane, I was almost crying in doctor's appointments, like, because I was really moved by the show. So even if it is kind of like, sometimes feels like almost a melodramatic, like, sob story at times, I think it is pretty effective. So I was like, I'm kind of conflicted because I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, it made me cry 10 out of 10. But on the other hand, like, it did like emotionally impact me just seeing all these people try to deal with the loss of war and like trying to move on with their lives. And I think that was really compelling, and I appreciate that subject matter being covered in anime. So I ended up giving it a 7. I would well, go ahead.
No, to continue about the 7 thing and explain why.
Oh, that was it. It's a 7.
No, okay. Talking about the binge watching, side note about that, when it comes to binge watching anime, for me, on Netflix, especially the anime called Be the Beginning, It was decent. It was decent, I guess. It was binge worthy, I guess, because I literally had no time. I was actually outside. I was at this thing, and I gotta stay in like 10 days, so I had literally nothing to do. So this opened up on Netflix, and I got, alright, 12 episodes, let's go. And I gotta say, honestly, it was kind of decent, good mystery, good kind of, it reminds me of Sherlock Holmes, but we're not talking about the beginning. We're talking about Violet Evergarden, the best show 2018. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, I liked it. I liked Violet Evergarden, her character, the show, the characters in the show, and the animation. The story, I will not say anything about the story until I have read the light novel. That is my rule. And I end my case.
Nice.
I want to. I kind of want to wrap this up soon because I I can't be doing this right now. But I gotta say, just one last thing I wanted to say about the finale is that the best part is that we got one more second of my waifu.
Did she even have a name?
That's not important, Shaw. What matters is that I love her.
Well, what is the waifu?
The girl who's like in his AV, she was like a receptionist that showed up for like 30 seconds total. In the series.
The ginger. The ginger,
yeah.
you mean?
Yeah.
I see her in the profile pic. Yeah, she's. Yeah,
character
I
designs are on
agree.
point. Yo, okay. Another thing, because I want to ask Vancer what his final thoughts are, if you had more to add. But
I got a little bit more.
I wanted to give a shout out to past me for calling out Pirate Wench being a stripper. Who called it? I called it. She was.
Oh my god! Yes, you were that.
She was confirmed a dancer for soldiers. I can read between the lines, KyoAni. She was a pirate wench. I knew it. You guys couldn't fool me. You tried to get that PG shine on it. No, I know what you're doing. Pirate Wench season 2 when?
As soon as I saw that, I immediately thought, I was like, well, there we go. I know that's going to be a talking point at some point tonight.
Yes.
She looked like a dancer, honestly. I like when I first saw her, like, God, alright, my first reaction when I saw her, I was like, God damn! But second reaction was like, alright, personality-wise, she seemed a bit, like, outgoing and just, like, open-minded and stuff, or something, like, extroverted, I guess. And I'm like, probably a stripper. I don't know. And then it happened. She was a stripper.
Follow your instincts. Your instincts will lead you to the right answer 10 out of 10 times, as according to Pirate Wench. Yes, we called it. Okay, now on to actual, like, meaningful things. Vancer, what did you think?
Please.
Well, I've just got, like, little random tidbits here that I don't have a whole lot to say, but just a lot of, like, little individual things. Like, I was saying, I really liked the manager of the dolls, forget his name as well.
Claudia?
Claudia, yeah.
Claudia.
When he was saying, I like the idea that he put out with the letters not needing to be super extravagant, like, as long as they're just, getting your thoughts down, it can be a single sentence in your letter, and I just kind of, that thought resonated with me, and I just like that line. Just because I felt like, it doesn't need to be super elaborate, as long as you, get your thoughts on paper, it's all that really matters. And when Violet was saying that she had never written a letter, I immediately was, like, confused by that, because the show starts with her writing a letter. Granted, I guess she never wrote a letter since kind of learning to be human, but because I, like, had that question come up, I immediately went back and looked at the first episode. And as she's writing the letter, it blows out her window. I don't know if anyone remembers this.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it blows out her window and transitions up into up towards a plane. It, like, matched perfectly with the final episode when they have the planes flying over, dropping all the letters down. And she wrote a letter for Gilbert in that opening scene and the, like, ending scene. And I really like that. Like, the letter flies up. You see the plane fly over, it pans back down over the railroads that they talk about in, like, episode 10 or whatever. With the, like, transcontinental railroads or whatever. They're getting repaired so they can, like, have peace or whatever. It showed the railroads there and, like, a couple other things from the show. And if first watch through, they mean nothing to you, but after, like, just going back and seeing that one scene, there was, just a lot of, like, actually important, like, scenery and shots in that, like, 10 seconds that are just, like, complete throwaway unless you knew what was happening.
God damn it! The no-hitter! Okay, here's what I've been holding back.
Alright, baseball chat, here we go.
Baseball, let's go.
And it got broken up. Fuck this pop filter!
I know that it just fell. I know that your microphone fell as usual. You did not drop it. Goodbye, Moz.
Poor guy.
We lost him.
I'm dead now.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. That was very rude of me for interrupting.
Oh no, it's
dude.
It's all part of the experience.
Listen, I like baseball, but not about softball actually. But same thing. I totally agree with you. Sometimes some games can be frustrating to watch in my country, especially when it comes to soccer. Holy shit, dude! The fucking fights, the screams.
Alright, we're getting.
Yeah, we're going off topic. Yeah, we're getting off topic.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on now.
Yeah.
Moz,
yeah.
Alright.
We've lost Moz.
Wait, am I actually? Can you guys not hear me?
I still hear you.
No, we can hear you.
No, you're just gone spiritually and like mentally.
Oh,
You're still alive physically.
That is true.
Alright,
Not
so
wrong.
since Shaq King told her score 7 out of 10, what are you guys say about the show? What would you give it?
I gave it a 7, but
Nice.
I think it's solid 7.
7 squad.
I gave it a
You,
6.5. AKA
Okay.
a 6, I think.
Okay.
Because like I said, it had some good moments, but it also had some things that weren't good. It didn't live up to the potential that it had.
I feel
By
like
the way,
I was
a 6 out of 10 for me is a good score, so don't say I hate the show, okay? Stop.
Yeah,
Why do
yeah,
you hate
I
the
know.
show?
Posting
You
mean
gave it
comments and hurting
6
cookies.
citruses out of 10. You gave it a Fate Sangatsu out of 10. You just gave it all these bad scores. Why do you hate things? Just kidding. I don't care enough to pull that.
He's a real oxygen thief.
What an oxygen thief. There it is. What an oxygen
There it
thief.
is.
How do you feel being a real life oxygen thief?
Oh my god, it feels amazing.
He's speechless.
Honestly.
You can no longer breathe. Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, do you guys have anything to add?
No, I think I got pretty much everything out. Like right before he exploded there. But another thing I thought was really funny was
I felt I overanalyzed the show a bit because of my experiences overanalyzing a bit of shows. I overanalyze everything, dude, because I want to feel smart sometimes. I don't know. I just feel good about overanalyzing stuff. But yeah, I like the show. Some parts of it fell. Some parts of it really rised. Lake scene, the Kyoto animation flex. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. Wait, what were you saying, Vancer?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, one of my favorite parts of that episode, for no particular reason other than it made me laugh, was the letter that Pirate Wench was reading.
Yeah.
And Boots Boy just whispers Papa.
Wait a minute. I wanted to bring that up and I forgot about it. Holy shit, how fucking weird was that when the Boots guy was whispering in Claudia's ear, Daddy. Holy shit.
That was the funniest thing ever.
I was like freaking. It was like hysterical, but I was also like, dude, what the fuck? First you're taking out the bombs, now you're calling him Daddy. Like, I cannot.
Are we pulling
is that what it
off
was
a Yuri
translated
on
for?
Ice?
Is this like, how gay are we? I don't understand who's like this guy. This guy's juicy. Hopefully this.
To be fair, that's how the letter started though. So I
Miss me
thought
with
of it
that
more
gay
as,
shit.
as funny.
Wait, no. Wait, he called him Daddy because he knocked a pirate wench.
Did he knock a pirate wench?
That's what
Did he?
he said
I think
in
that's
the
what it was
letter.
supposed to imply.
I don't know if he but did he actually knock her up?
I think it was just.
It was
I
implied.
thought he was just thinking.
Yeah, it was just like to future child.
Yeah.
It wasn't like confirmed or denied.
Yeah, because I'm like confused. Because half the time I felt like Pirate Wench and the Boots guy had something going on. Then the Pirate Wench and Claudia had something going on. But now we know
Now
all
it's Claudia
had
and Boots guy.
They all had something going on together. It was a threesome all along. We all know who Daddy was.
TLDR.
We know what it is.
TLDR, she's a thought. TLDR, she's a thought.
No, this is a threesome. They're all thoughts. They all that sounds like legitimate thinking thoughts. No, they're all thoughts. Joanna, you cannot fool me again. I called the pirate wench, and now I'm calling the threesome. You guys cannot hide anything from me ever.
So is that how it was subbed when you watched it? It said "Daddy."
Yeah.
Yep.
Because on mine said "Papa." Yeah, and I thought that was that was way funnier.
Wait, mine might have said that. I'm gonna check. Check.
It said "Papa." It was the deadpan delivery is just my favorite thing probably this season. I don't know if that's true or not, but it had me legitimately laughing at that, and I don't laugh at a whole lot of things in anime.
I was dying. I was like, what is going on? Why are they writing letters and being gay? What happened? What happened to Violet Evergarden? Oh, well. Hopefully they continue this stuff in the OVA. Be more gay.
Yeah, OVA, let's go. And also Gaiden, a new, even though the light novel finished in 2 volumes, they're actually making a new Gaiden, which is the after story of Violet Evergarden. Waiting for that. So yeah, instead of OVA. I think they're going to adapt the Gaiden into the OVA. I'm not sure. Whatever.
We'll find
Is that
out.
where we get the Lux character? Because that's my biggest disappointment of the season. There's a character on the fucking list on Mal that's named Lux, and she's not in the anime.
That's
Fuck
why
you,
it's a
Violet
6.
Evergarden.
That's why it's a 6.
That's why it's a 6.
Because she didn't show up.
Otherwise, it would have been only a 7.
It would have been... Then it's a 7.
Yeah.
I feel that...
You must have a fetish on redheads or some shit, dude.
Dude, she just called you out.
Dude.
Monsters drowning in baseball. Well,
yeah.
Do we have anything else to say?
I think
I got everything out.
Violet
I think that's it.
Violet
Fuck
Ever.
the Mariners.
Sadly,
Violet Ever over.
it's over.
Well, I don't know if we'll do a follow-up episode discussion, but if not, it's been fun. I'm saying this as if I've been on more than 3 episodes. Maz, this is your show.
There will be something about the OVA.
Okay.
Well,
when is it out?
There you have it.
It will be a different one. I'll have an afterword after we're done here. But I'm done.
When is the OVA coming out? I haven't heard of it.
I don't know either. I don't think they announced it. Oh, July?
July. Jeez.
Oh. Ooh.
We got some time.
We got time. July 4th.
Okay.
Nothing says independence like Violet Evergarden.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Well,
She takes a trip to America.
that'd be pretty
He
lame.
says America like foreign imports, am I right?
Yeah, I am.
Ayy. Got him. Oh well.
So you're afterward, Lux?
Oh, I'll just do that. I'll just do that later because I'm too lazy to do it right now.
Okay, well, we're saying bye. We'll say bye now.
All right. Thank you for
right.
listening to this, everybody. Thanks for listening to Violet Everweekly, whether this was the first week you've listened to or the 13th week you've listened to.
Yes.
All of you on this episode, Shah, Thai, Vanzer, thank you for being on here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
It was a
you.
lot of fun.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining
Arigato
us.
gozaimasu.
Yeah.
Shukran. Merci beaucoup. Danke. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Even though
I
this is
just
my
know
first
English.
time, I have been a long time listener, and I have enjoyed every single second of it. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thanks so much.
Hey.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope to be back sometime, hopefully.
And we're
Yep. Same.
See you later.
All right.
Transition. Test. Is this okay? Is this working? Is this a good volume? Maybe I should just make out with my microphone to see if this is recording well. I don't know how to use any of my equipment. I'm so sorry. Okay, I don't want to make this too long, so let's just, get into the nitty-gritty details. Okay, first off, point number 0 that I want to make. I wanted to extend my appreciation and thanks to all the people that showed up for this podcast, all of the guests that we had. I know it's like the most cliche thing in the world to say that I couldn't have done it without you. But I also couldn't have done it without you because I suck at podcasting. I suck at open discussions like this. If you listen to some of those episodes, I'm pretty fucking bad. So it's a good thing we had lots of people that are actually capable of human speech to help support me and make the episodes listenable, right? So thanks to those guys. And of course, they all, brought a lot to the table that all had, like, I'm actually really surprised. I was a little worried that, you know, we'd have, like, I don't know, some guy who's acting like a total asshole on the podcast and just get into fights with everybody, and that never happened, so great. Thanks for not being assholes, guys. And of course, thanks to my friends at the R Anime Podcast who let me do this series, who helped me out a little bit. Becker, in particular, edited most of the earlier episodes and then had to completely take over for episode 10 when I was dead IRL. And of course, Shaw and Cav, who made occasional appearances. They were great. Love having them on there. And the rest of the group were supportive of this idea, supportive of this podcast, all that good stuff. It's great to have them. So, that out of the way, let's discuss the future. First off, it is confirmed that there will be some sort of OVA, as part of the, first season for the Blu-rays. This will be released sometime in July, I believe. Long story short, we will do a podcast about it. There will be the true end of Violet Everweekly will be the OVA discussion. However, it's not going to be a normal Everweekly. I kind of want to do something different just because who cares about the OVA? It's just, not that it's going to be bad or anything, but it's bonus content, right? I don't think we need to have like an intimate serious discussion about the OVA when a lot of people probably aren't interested in that whatsoever. So we're going to do something different. First off, I want to do a group watch of the episode, and afterwards there's going to be an open mic discussion, basically. We'll just pile people into Discord and then just start recording. And that's it. That'll be the episode. It'll just be this very free, this very loose, kind of a quote-unquote unprofessional sort of thing. The fine details of this will be worked out later, as if, how is it going to be live streamed? Because obviously you can't just, literally watch anime on... You can't just live stream an anime on Twitch, right? But finer details of all this will be planned out later. The date of this, I can't even tell you because we don't know if the OVA is going to be on Netflix, so we might have to wait on fan subs, which take a couple of days, and, I don't want to, I can't obviously just drop everything in and then just do a live stream. So this will be worked out later. We have about 3 months, so no rush, no big deal. But that's the plan. That will it'll probably all be one live stream or at least one recording for the voice chat, and that will basically be the podcast. So beyond that, we were kind of implying from the beginning that we might do another sort of weekly podcast for a different anime going in the future seasons. And now that we're in the future seasons, I think I should say that currently we have no plans of doing another weekly podcast. At least no guaranteed plans. We are still discussing the possibilities of doing another one. But overall, we are not going to do... I would say just within this season... Don't expect anything. We're not going to do... it's kind of too late to start a podcast about one single anime this season anyway, right? But overall, we've decided to not go through this for various reasons. The main one kind of being that this project didn't exactly live up to the expectations that we had. It wasn't... We were kind of expecting to get a little more views on this, and we didn't. And it just, overall, it wasn't exactly worth the effort, I guess. It was a little too much effort for the reward. That's not... don't worry. Views are not the only thing. There are still several things that we accomplished, with this podcast. We wanted to have more content on the channel. We wanted to have more consistent releases because we kind of want this to be a weekly or at least bi-weekly podcast. But, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. But we still managed to do a weekly series, and it didn't take away from anything, really. We were still working at our usual pace. We were still getting plenty of episodes out. So this was just kind of on the side. Did not have any negative consequence on us whatsoever. And the other, benefit is that there are lots of people who have never been on the podcast before or haven't been on the podcast in a long time that were featured in this series. And that's another thing. We wanted to have more guest appearances because we always have sign-ups open. We always encourage people to be on the podcast, but there are so few openings that it's like, they can't be on just because we don't have room for them. And it's kind of unfortunate, but those two things are very important to us. And with Violet Everweekly, we were able to still accomplish them. And even just the experience of having done this, it's still fulfilling in some way. So, don't worry. Views are not everything, and I'm not, upset or anything. No one's upset. No one's mad. It's just, we kind of feel like maybe we're not exactly in the position to do a weekly series and, get, strong results from it. I mean, because I kind of based this idea off of a thing that Digibro did in the past, but Digibro is a person who has like thousands of people who will watch and listen to anything he does. So he has that dedicated fan base. We are a relatively new and still growing podcast channel with a little over 1,000. Well, actually, we just passed 1,500 subs, but we don't have that sort of, massive dedicated audience. We're still working on getting there. So, maybe it was a little naive of me to do this. Maybe Violet Evergarden wasn't really a great anime to do a podcast about, which we kind of joked about several times. But, there are a couple other reasons that, I won't get into, but overall, we just kind of feel like we shouldn't do this, at least for a little bit. It is possible, maybe even likely, that there will be another weekly podcast in the future, because as I said, we are discussing the possibilities of this. We are still, sorting this out. It's just that, as of now, currently, Now that Violet Everweekly is over, and a lot of people are wondering what we're going to do next, we're not ready to commit to another weekly series at this time. So I hope you understand, and that's about all that I wanted to say. Just wanted to be level and tell you guys what's going on. That's about it. All right, cool. Thanks again for listening. Thanks again for watching. And we'll see you later. Toodaloo, motherfuckers. Motherfuckers!